Okay. So coming into a nice comfortable seat, and if you need to, like me, get a few things under the feet to raise up the level so that your knees can be comfortably in line with your hips. And you can sit with a little bit of space between your feet. You know, don't try to force the feet or the knees together if that feels like you're just putting a lot of effort into it. So just let the feet be relaxed on the floor, but check that they're in line with each other. And then bringing the bum to the back of the seat. And closing over the eyes if you're comfortable doing that, or just having a gentle downward gaze. The crown of the head is pointing up towards the ceiling. Just taking a moment or two to sense into the body. So you might have a little kind of shuffle around, a shuffle with the shoulders. If there's anything in the eye, like me, you can just adjust that. And just making sure that you're allowing yourself to notice. You know, sometimes when we try to come into a sitting still position, we feel agitated and kind of uncomfortable. So allow yourself to feel that way and go, okay, I'll just get that out of my system. And then when you're ready, take a nice big deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. Just feeling yourself dropping down into the body, dropping the awareness down from the thinking mind into the sensing body. And if you feel that actually your mind is a little bit scattered because you're being so busy, doing that a couple of times, nice breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. You might even feel a little tingling or lightheadedness if that's the first deep breath that you've done today. So the breathing that we're born with, the breathing, the natural belly breathing that we do as babies, sometimes as we get older, we just get so busy and going that our breathing gets shallower and higher up into the chest. So just coming back to that natural state of really enjoying the deep breath in and the belly expanding, if you can. And noticing what sensations you have in your body as you deepen the breath. Maybe becoming aware of the back of the body against the chair. Noticing if the head feels like it's centered between the shoulders, that there's that kind of balance point. Do you feel the sitting bones on the seat or the bum to the back of the chair? How about the backs of the upper legs on the top of the chair? And even down the backs of the legs, down to your feet, where they connect with the floor or with the surface, the raised surface. So just taking a breath or two here. Noticing the parts of the body that either may feel a little tight or uncomfortable, or parts of the body that feel really relaxed and pleasant. Knowing that neither is right and neither is wrong, you're just observing. Not trying to hold on to the nice feelings or push away the bad ones, just noticing them there. And then bringing the hands together, just rubbing the hands together, noticing the feeling of the skin, the temperature of the hands, maybe the shapes of the fingers, interlacing the fingers maybe even as you're rubbing the hands. Feel the back of the hands as if you're rubbing cream into the backs of the hands and around the thumbs and the fingers as if you were washing your hands. How the hands feel. And then just coming into that prayer position, very gently pressing the fingers together, lifting up the elbows and just trying to drop down the shoulders if they start to climb up. So you're pressing the insides of the wrists downwards while lifting up the elbows, trying to keep the forearms in a straight line. Don't worry if the hands aren't quite together. This just helps across, kind of engage the muscles across the upper chest, as well as into the shoulders, the arms, a nice stretch in the insides of the wrists. And then let the fingers slightly come up so that you can turn the wrists and point the fingers out, the insides of the wrists. I like that entrance stuff, thank you. The insides of the wrists coming towards the heart, fingers pointing away. And then releasing the hands again and pointing the fingers down towards the floor, the insides of the wrists coming upwards. So just doing that in reverse then, fingers pointing outwards, and then releasing and fingers pointing upwards. Lovely. Interlace the fingers and just roll the wrists gently in one direction. And then changing direction. So you can kind of feel it right into the wrists and into the fingers and the thumbs. And then coming back to center and stretch out the fingers and then tighten them in. Stretching them out, tightening them in. And roll the wrists in one direction. And then rolling in the opposite direction. Press the hands away, so you're straightening the arms as much as you can, dropping down the shoulders. And then point the fingers down towards the floor. Then turn the palms of the hands to face out, Spider-Man. So that stretches the insides of the arms. And then let the arms hang by the sides of the chair just for a moment. Closing over the eyes. Notice how the hands feel. Do they feel a little tingly, or cool, or warm? Or no sensation, just being aware of it. And then placing the left arm across your thigh or across the tops of the knees. Just let the other arm hang from the side and just do a little circle with the arm. So the arm is just hanging out of the joint, doing a little circle in one direction and then a circle in the opposite direction. Lift the arm up in front of you and then down behind you. So up in front and down behind. So it's kind of like a little pendulum going from forward, front to back, and then back to the center again. Just see if you can maybe lift the arm up away from the side of the body and then bring it across the midline of the body. So bringing it away. Most of the effort is in the shoulder and bringing it across, and then allow it to hang back down again. And swapping over the arms on the lap. So your right arm is across your lap now. Let the other arm hang down and just give it a second if it feels like you're kind of holding onto it and the shoulders is hanging up. Let the shoulder drop down if you can. And then just do a nice little circle in one direction. Circle in the opposite direction. And then do that little pendulum swing again. So the arm swings up in front and back behind. So it's as if you're getting ready to throw a bowling ball. But you're not doing it like loosely. You're doing it with control. So forward and back. And then coming back to neutral. This time take the arm away from the side and across the midline. Way out to the side and across the midline. Try not to hit each other. And out to the side and across the midline. And back to the center again. So if you're comfortable doing this, making sure that there's no chance at all of you falling forward. So the bum is right to the back of the chair. Just see if you'd be comfortable hanging the arms down by the sides of the legs and letting the head hang. If you feel that that is too much, that the weight will be too far forward, rest the arms on the lap and just gaze down. Let your head hang so that your neck just feels like it's not doing any work. If you're doing the full forward pose or full forward fold, you're resting your belly on your lap and the arms are hanging by the sides with the head hanging down. But again, only if you're absolutely comfortable that there's no chance of you falling forwards. And with each breath out here, just imagining that you're releasing at the hips and letting the whole length of the back just get that space between each and every one of the vertebrae. So softening into it. And then to come out of it, the hands come back up onto the lap, up onto the knees, engage the tummy muscles, and then gently lifting the head, neck, and shoulders while engaging the tummy, coming back upright. Now we'll do a little back bend, even though we've got the back of the chair there. What we're going to do is lift up the arms in front, looking up at the hands, and just see how far you could maybe bring the arms back. And it's totally fine if the arms don't feel like they're coming back at all. the intention is to press the chest forward. So bringing the arms up can help us to lift the head, neck, and shoulders. But don't put any pressure or compression on the back of the neck. If you feel like I need to look forward, that's fine. You're still doing a back bend. Then bringing the arms back down by the sides. Now, we're going to move the blocks or cushions or whatever's under the feet away. And we'll do as you can see, I'm swinging my feet on this chair. So scooting forward till you have your sitting bones on the edge of the chair, feet firmly planted on the floor, in line with each other, with a bit of space between the feet, so that you've got a nice stability. Reaching the arms forward, gaze down at the floor, and when you're ready, bring the weight forward so that you're centering yourself over those planted feet, but the knees stay bent, gaze is down at the floor, and then when you're ready, press the floor away so that you're straightening the legs and the upper body comes upright and the arms come by the sides. Lovely. You might have felt that into the thighs. I'm going to turn the chair, make sure you can still see the full length of me. Yeah, perfect. Okay. And we're going to just do a little bit of the hip work that we did the last time as well, so that we keep that movement going. So we've done the shoulders today, and we're going to do something similar with the hips. So take a step back from the back of the chair and stretching into the spine again. I've stepped back out of the frame. Stepping back from the chair a little, bending the knees and dropping the hips down towards the floor. And the gaze is down towards the floor. The elbows can be bent. So you're just keeping the knees in line and making sure you can still see your toes. And then coming back up to stand again. So you're going to feel this probably into the glutes and the hips. Bending the knees again, staring down at the floor. Make sure you can wiggle your toes. So that's, you know that all four corners of your feet are planted firmly on the floor. Pressing the bum out so the hips are dropping down, your legs are doing the work. And then coming back up to stand again. This time stepping forward the left foot, step back the right foot a little bit, and then just bending that front knee. So keeping the hips square with the front of the chair, bending the front knee, you just gaze forwards. The elbows can be hanging by your sides, and then straighten the front leg again. Bending the front knee and straightening the front leg. Then step the left foot back, step the right foot forward. And again, making sure those hips are square. Bending the front knee and straightening the front leg. Bending the front knee, straightening the front leg. And step both feet back. Now, we're going to do a posture where you're going to step back, and I know I'm a bit out of frame here, but stepping right back to give you plenty of space. Stepping the left foot forward and see if you can keep both legs straight, and you can lean the upper body forward. So you can keep the arms bent if you like, and you can bring the hands together and rest your chin on your hands if you like. Well, what you're trying to do is see the way you can tilt the pelvis. So the back gets a little bit of a stretch. The hips are staying square. You're just looking over the top of your chair and both legs are straight. And then coming back up to stand. Step the front foot back to meet the back. Step the other foot forward. Both legs are straight. Both feet are pointing forwards. Both hips. The hips are square. Hands resting on the back of the chair. Keep the legs straight as much as you can and tilt the upper body forward. And again, just checking that you can do that little tilt of the pelvis to give that nice stretch to the spine. And you may feel that into the hamstrings, and rest the hands on the chair. You can rest the forehead or the chin on the hands if you like, whatever works. But you might feel it into the glutes or the bum muscles and the hamstrings. And that's absolutely okay. Just making sure to breathe into any discomfort and not to be working through pain. Okay, if it's painful coming out of it. And then to come out of it again, just lifting up the upper body. And stepping the front foot back to meet the other. And turning to the side, we'll just do the little pendulum work with the outside leg. So leaning on the chair and lifting up the outside leg a little off the floor. You're just going to swing that leg forward and back. And you can do it slowly, breathing in, bringing it forward, pointing the toe. Breathing out, bringing it back, pointing the toe behind. Bring it forward and bring it back. And then come into the center. Bring the leg across the midline. And then bring the leg out to the side. Bring it across the midline behind the front foot this time. And then bring it out to the side. Once more, across the midline to the front. And out to the side. And across the midline to the back. So you're standing, front standing knee may bend a little to bring that leg back. And then back into center. And we'll do the other side. Swap the chair around. So gently leaning on the chair, or if you've stepped around, whichever works for you. So bringing the weight into the left leg or the leg closest to the chair, the other leg, so that your external leg is free. And we're going to bring it forward and back. And you can just do it a couple of kind of fast little moves to start with. And then when you're ready, breathing in, coming forward, pointing the foot. Breathing out, bringing it back. Breathing in, forward. Breathing out, back. And coming back to center, breathing in, out to the side. Breathing out, bringing it to the front, across the midline. Out to the side. And then across the midline to the back. So it's like a little curtsy. Out to the side. And across in front. And don't worry if the breathing doesn't go with it. It's just about kind of paying attention to the movement and breathing in with one and out with the other. And over time, that rhythm will happen. Now come back to center. Now, turning to the back of the chair again, we'll just stretch out the lower back again, just in case it's a little bit tight. So stepping back away from the back of the chair a little, bending the knees, dropping the sitting bones down. So you're holding the back of the chair, but not putting all of your weight down on it. It's just a little bit of support. And you're dropping the sitting bones down towards the floor. And you can tilt the pelvis forward so you get that little arch in the lower back. Or another way to think of it is if you were, somebody had the hook on the back of your jeans and they were pulling it backwards. And that sort of helps to tilt the pelvis, which gives a little relief to the lower back. Gazing down at the floor. And then coming back up to stand. Before we come back into sitting, pressing the hips forward, gently resting the hands on the back of the chair, shoulders are dropping down, and then press the chest forward, looking up towards the ceiling. So getting that little opposite movement. You can give a little gentle bend to the knees if you like, looking up towards the ceiling. So a little back bend, and then back up to center. And we're going to come back down into the chair. So make sure that the chair has no way of falling backwards as we come into a controlled sitting back down the chair. Feet hip width distance apart, arms out in front to counterbalance, the hips coming down towards the seat. But make sure that that seat is close to you. So the arms extended, gaze down at the floor, hips are still off the chair, feel it in the thighs. And then sit down on the seat. Lovely. Now, if you need any supports underneath the feet, bring them over. Keep the time. So, bringing the bum to the back of the chair again and getting yourself adjusted. Sensing into the body, noticing how the hips are feeling, how the thighs, the glutes, the knees are feeling. And also the shoulders, the upper body, the head. Closing over the eyes if you're comfortable doing that, or just having a gentle gaze down at your lap. Noticing if there's any part of the body that needs a little bit of breath into it. So if it feels a little tight or uncomfortable, breathing in and out of that area. Each breath out, seeing if you can release or soften the area a little. Just if that's available. And opening up the eyes again. Holding onto the side of the chair, we'll just do a little side bend. So I'm going to bring up my right arm, it doesn't matter which one, that you want to start with, but holding onto the side of the chair, bringing up the right arm only as high as you can. If the elbow is bent, that's absolutely fine. Just leaning over to the side. So making sure that you're keeping the hips heavy, that there's no chance that you'll fall to the side, only coming over as far as is comfortable, and turning the head to look if you can. If your arm is extended upwards, you can stay like that, or you might want to bend the elbow and gently cup the back of your neck. That deepens the stretch into the armpit. And lifting the elbow up towards the ceiling. Now, wherever you are in that, just staying within your limits and just enjoying it, because the posture is just the same. So the stretch just differs depending on the body. Breathing into each of the ribs, so into the intercostal muscles. With each breath out, relaxing as much as you can, just that is comfortable or available. And then to come out of it, the arm extends back up again, and then down by the sides, and you come back up into the center. So now we do the other side, holding the other side of the chair and starting to lean over so that you have that kind of comfort, that you know what point you're going to go to. Lifting up the other arm only as far as is comfortable, whether it's bent, it's extending up towards the ceiling, or if the elbow is bent, cupping the back of the neck. Turning the head just as far as is comfortable and leaning over to the side. So it's like you're pressing the hip out in the opposite direction to the side you're leaning on, and that kind of counterbalances the leaning. Breathing into it, the breath out, softening and letting go. Releasing the arm back up again and down by the side. Lovely. Bringing the arms out to the side, palms facing forward. Breathing out, bringing the arms across the front of the body, tuck the chin into the chest and roll the chest, roll the back forward, roll your upper body forward a small bit, just so that you're arching your spine. And then next breath in, open the arms out to the sides again. And the next breath out, you're bringing the arms across the body the opposite way and curling in. So once more, breathing in, opening the arms up. Breathing out, curling in. Once more, breathing in, opening up. And breathing out, curling back in. And then resting the hands down on the lap, palms of the hands facing down, and sitting upright in the chair. Letting the shoulders drop down, closing over the eyes if you'd like. Just allowing the body now to reap the rewards of the chair yoga. So how do you feel now at this point? Do the upper arms feel relaxed by the sides? Are the hands relaxed in the lap? Or do you want to turn them to face upwards? Maybe that would be more comfortable. And once you're in a relaxed position, allowing the breath to settle into an effortless pattern. I'll read you a poem by Rachel Holstead called Perfect. You can't make it perfect. Life has a habit of popping up to remind you of impermanence. Be graceful in letting go, in releasing that perfect dream. Let yourself come down gently to reality, to how it really is, and to the constant change that happens whatever we do. Set your feet on the ground again and let yourself flow with the earth's turning. There is no perfection but this dance with all its colours. Nothing to do but the living and letting go of every moment. Bringing the hands back up together, just rubbing the palms of the hands. Very, very gently, just noticing how sensitive the hands can be. All the nerve endings. And bring the hands to the top of the head. Gentle little placing the hands on the scalp, noticing the nerve endings in the scalp and how even the softest touch can be felt or sensed. Bringing the hands to the front of the face, cupping the hands over the eyes, enjoying the darkness over the eyes. And then the hands down alongside the face on the jawline. Noticing how the jaw is feeling, if it feels tight or relaxed, or if there's been any change in facial muscles. And bringing the hands down alongside the neck or throat. Noticing your swallow and your pulse. Maybe sensing if the muscles of the neck feel a little softer or more relaxed. And then a hand on the tummy, a hand on the heart, bowing the head for a moment. Breathing here, a nice big deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. And the hands together again as we started. Back into prayer position, pressing the thumbs to the heart center, lifting up the elbows out to the sides. And then pointing the fingers out from the heart. And then the fingers down towards the lap. And back up again, out from the heart. And back up towards the ceiling. And bring the hands back down onto the lap and opening the eyes whenever you're comfortable. Thanks, everybody.